fáciles como
You were the ones who said it first. Star Trek lives, and live it does. For over 2 decades it has.
Gene Roddenberry's original purpose for Star Trek was to create an optimistic vision of humanity's future, showcasing a world that overcame war, prejudice, and poverty through exploration, tolerance, and cooperation. Using science fiction as a vehicle to comment on contemporary social issues like racism and inequality that were too controversial for direct TV portrayals. He wanted to inspire hope by imagining humans united in space, solving problems through reason and exploring the depths of the human soul. Gene Roddenberry's conception and initial development of Star Trek took place exactly around the time of the 1964-1965 New York World's Fair, which heavily influenced the show's optimistic, technologically driven vision of the future. Specific forward-thinking technologies shown at the fair, such as the picture phone, directly influenced the, at the time, science-fictional futuristic communication devices in the series. Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek was rooted in a philosophy of realistic optimism, presenting a future where humanity matured beyond poverty, racism, and war to embrace diversity and explore the cosmos. It was not a naive utopia, but rather a hopeful vision that acknowledged potential dangers while asserting that human progress and cooperation could create a better, post-scarcity society. Roddenberry believed humanity is a child creature, growing out of its adolescent violent phase, capable of achieving wisdom and maturity. His post-capitalist society outlook encompasses a world that has evolved beyond greed and money, with people focusing on self-improvement and the betterment of humanity. This optimistic, yet grounded approach highlighted the belief that humanity could overcome its baser instincts to create a brighter future, making it a functional or constructive hope. So why does modern-day Star Trek projects seem like they're made to fail? Well, because the fact is Star Trek was Gene Roddenberry's baby. His creation, it was his project that basically was kept alive by his idealistic will. But those times are gone, his influence has dissipated, his beloved passion project is now in the foster care of abusive industries. They don't see his idealistic dream as a realistic blueprint for men to strive for. No, all they see is an IP that they can try to milk for all it's worth. The irony about this can't be understated. Roddenberry, who thought man would escape the monetary trappings of the capitalistic predatorial mindset, has his beloved project succumb to that very destructive outcome. You see, we're living in times that he did not even imagine could ever happen. Not a utopia based on realistic outcomes, he never imagined that humanity would embrace the hedonistic lifestyle of individualistic prosperity over the well-being of the whole. And let me be clear, this is not hyperbole or being over-dramatic, because all people need to do is look out their window today to see, and if that's not enough, here comes the boring data. Recent data suggests that American morale, happiness, and satisfaction rates are at or near historical lows in some key metrics, particularly concerning the direction of the country and among younger generations. The Pew Research Center, Ipsos, and various academic studies supports the perception that societies are becoming more divided. Many Americans view the current political climate as more hostile than at any time since the Civil War. Modern data trends, particularly in 2025, shows a growing issue where high-tech convenience has amplified materialistic and hedonistic disposable tendencies. evidence suggests that Western societies are experiencing significant challenges to unity and cohesion, often described as a polycrisis, characterized by high levels of polarization, declining trust in institutions, and increased individualism. Many metrics, particularly in the United States, point toward a rise in the diseases of despair, social isolation, and political tribalism. Reports also indicate that unhappiness in America has reached an all-time high based on certain metrics, with a notable rise in sentiments described as cultural nihilism, especially among younger generations. This is the environment we're living in, an environment where there is no real social cohesion. A sad and defeatist collective acceptance of this destructive fact, now lost, uncertain, all they do now is run, escaping into the immersive world of divisive technology in an artificial world where algorithmic apps rip you apart over and over again, only to piece you together again with digital flattery, a cycle of seeking cyber acceptance, looking for meaning in the meaningless. This is why Star Trek has such a hard time establishing its footprint again. This environment is not conducive for it to grow. Gene Roddenberry's idea was all about a hopeful outcome in an environment full of people who share that vision of a better future. But today, this isn't the mindset by any stretch of the imagination. The rise of the culture of nihilism, characterized by a sense of helplessness and a belief that nothing can change, has become widespread among young Americans. This is tied to low trust in institutions and growing cynicism. Plus, loneliness has reached epidemic levels in America. It is among the top 5 loneliest countries in the world, studies have shown. Additionally, nearly half of Americans reported being more stressed at the end of 2025 than at the beginning of the year. Depression rates at record highs, political polarization, and lack of trust is at record highs. The eroding social bonds, the declining optimism, and political polarization are cited as key contributing factors to the decline in happiness. Over 60% of Americans feel the country is too divided to function effectively. Keep this in mind, this is not just an individualistic problem. This is a deeply embedded societal issue which infects all systems needed to keep a society going, and that includes entertainment. An entertainment system that is not driven by hope or imagination anymore, choosing short-term profit over long-term successes. Times have truly changed, and this is why Star Trek will never really find its foothold again. The crowd that it once catered to has devolved into a cynical culture. Today, the people have been conditioned to hold their breath and wait for the other disastrous shoe to drop, so to speak. And rather than embrace or dream about a future where mankind escapes the trappings of its own demise, they seek identity in the quantifiably mundane. The new Star Trek, being inspirationally bland, is not an anomaly. It's a product of the times, a reflection of the lost generations anchored to uncertainty rather than structural, grounded hope. This is why the new Star Trek series have significantly divided the fan base. And it's that very same divisiveness that goes against the very ideals of what Gene Roddenberry was driving for, a unifying social, cohesive future. But those taking creative liberties with his works seem to have lost touch with that fact and don't care. So to conclude, in this environment of sadness and uncertainty, is there any wonder why Star Trek has lost its light? But I think that's what makes it even more important to reclaim the old, hopeful way that he established in the first place, because maybe, just maybe, for a select few, it might bring a spark of happiness and hope in their lives, like Gene Roddenberry intended in the first place.
But as I began writing that pilot, I suddenly realized that here was a chance to do the kind of drama I'd always dreamed of doing. I had seen science fiction movies before, but I'd always thought to myself, not enough characterization, not enough motivation. Perhaps I could use this as an excuse to go to those far-off planets with little polka-dotted people if necessary, and be able to talk about love, war, nature, God, sex, all those things that go to make up the excitement of the human condition.